Hello, I'm Eric Sandoval. We're following a developing story today out of Western Washington. Again, the winner of tonight's game goes on February 5th to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who won their championship game earlier in the day. For easily the past year, passenger foot ferry service from here in Kingston to Seattle has been, well, it's been like a long walk up a short pier. And if the passion is there, people will brave this rain to make their voices heard. Skincare products and treatments aren't just for women anymore. As Judy Fortin reports, men are joining the quest for healthy skin too.
Now, Northwest News Today.
Hello and thank you so much for joining us this half hour. I'm Eric Sandoval. Today, soldiers from Idaho are among the latest casualties in the war in Iraq. 3 soldiers died yesterday and 2 others were hurt when an insurgent's bomb hit their vehicle in the Ann Albah province. The soldiers were members of the 321st Engineering Battalion. Now, news of these Idaho casualties came as the Pentagon released a new report suggesting the Bush administration may have built its case for the war on false intelligence. Northwest Cable News' Mike Goldfein reports this could cause more political problems for the president. Back in the Northwest, meantime, a family moving from Oklahoma to Oregon to start a new life is now devastated after a thief stole their moving truck. Authorities found their U-Haul off Highway 224 in Clackamas County, but they found it empty. News Channel 8's Jennifer Iverson tells us how the family is discovering that home is more than just things. It's heart, too. Well, today, another Seattle area school shut down because of an outbreak of the flu. Christ the King School in North Seattle closed today because so many students called in sick. Seattle's Bishop Blanchett High School also canceled classes yesterday. Residents of a homeless camp in Olympia, Washington will have to find a new place to live now. Officers evicted people living in this unauthorized tent city this morning. Spokane, meantime, is a city of promise. That was the message from Mayor Dennis Hession at his 2nd annual State of the City address that happened this morning.
Never before.
Well, the Oregon Lottery is looking for 2 big winners today who will have to act fast if they want their money. 2 unclaimed winning lottery tickets together worth nearly $2 million. So check your dresser drawers. Make sure you don't have it. We'll have a check of that weekend and 5-day forecast for you straight ahead. Huddled in this crowd of hundreds, one woman relives a battle time and time again in her own mind.
I always come to bear witness for Rusty's sacrifice and to just have people see there's a cost to war.
Julie Tackett holds a picture of her friend Rusty Bell, a soldier who served 3 tours of duty in Iraq.
Rusty was a great kid. He joined the Arkansas National Guard at 17, like a lot of kids in small towns in Arkansas. It's a way to make your life better. That was what my husband did as well. He was activated with the Arkansas National Guard, went over, did a pretty hard tour, but he really loved the Army.
What makes Rusty's story different from the hundreds we've heard before, especially in the eyes of Julie, is the fact that he didn't die in combat. Instead, Rusty returned home to a family ripped apart by his absence. He ended up taking his own life. A picture of the toll on the troops that Julie says America doesn't see.
I mean, Rusty was my pen pal, and we emailed back and forth. This was not my child. I couldn't understand why I was so devastated, and then I realized that if every American were as devastated by every death and every wound as I felt about Rusty, maybe we'd be in a different place right now.
So Julie took to the streets, marching with the others in Seattle, all of them against the same war, all for very different reasons. In downtown Seattle, Eric Sandoval, Northwest Cable News. Prosecutors plan to file murder charges Monday against a Western Washington man accused of fatally stabbing 4 family members, including 2 children. They say the suspect told police that he snapped out of an alcoholic blackout at his neighbor's Kirkland home Monday, covered in blood. On the floor dead, a mother, her 2 sons, and the mother's sister. Today, the suspect's friends and family packed a Seattle courtroom, shocked by the allegations.
Conway, do you have a chance to talk?
When the 24-year-old walked into court, some of his friends just lost it. His parents were also here to see their son and once again hear the horrific charges against him. Prosecutors and police now say the suspect admitted that he drank heavily Sunday night into Monday morning, blacked out, Then,
he makes admissions to the Kirkland police of awakening in the home of the victims covered in blood, and he admits to setting the house afire.
But he apparently did not confess to the actual murders. Even though the judge ordered the media not to show you his identity, we can tell you he has injuries to his face and neck and a puncture wound to his left forearm. Prosecutors say that's important because it could show some of the victims put up a fight before they were killed.
The signs of injury to the defendant himself would indicate that that's a possibility.
That what's a possibility?
That the victims fought in their own defense.
We're also learning more about the suspect from his MySpace account, where he writes about dealing with the demons of drugs and alcohol. But he seemed to indicate that he had moved past that by thanking some of his friends for their help. Quote, "My true friends who stuck by me while I struggled with drug and alcohol addiction and continue to be those lifelines that help pull me back from the edge of the abyss." He writes in his blog that while he's loved and cherished, looked up to and respected, that he's also feared and mistrusted, misunderstood, misinterpreted, and sometimes misguided. It appears he last logged into that account on Tuesday, one day after the murders. A female friend wrote today on her blog about the suspect's arrest, quote, "I can't even begin to imagine how you are right now. It all seems so unreal, all of this. You, of all people?" But an acquaintance tells us, quote, "You get the feeling that he would snap. He'd make you walk on eggshells, and then he could turn around and be the nicest guy in the world. He's up and down. One minute you can see the rage in his eyes, and the next minute he seems like a normal guy." Prosecutors say that they will officially charge the suspect on Monday with 4 counts of aggravated first-degree murder and 1 count of arson. Bail is currently set at $4 million.